Carl here from Brrraaains Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's horror movie review time. Terror Trips from writer-director Jeff Seaman. It's a horror movie that promises so much and fails to deliver on pretty much anything. An engaging story, good characters, scares, or a satisfying ending. It's not here. Putting it simply, Terror Trips is just not a good movie.
I'm starting a new business. It's called Terror Trips. We give guided tours of the locations where they filmed the most iconic horror films, the classics. Then, after dark, we screen the movie at that location.
What are we watching tonight?
Black Volga takes place in a small town in Poland where there's been a wave of kidnappings. The rumors were that the Soviets were sending in KGB agents to kidnap the kids for a number of horrifying reasons. Blood transfusions, organ harvesting, sex trafficking. The worst of the worst.
A group of friends have started a business that they hope will be lucrative and satisfy their own interest in horror fiction, which the film goes out of its way to make sure you know they love. The business is called Terror Trips and will be made up of them providing guided tours to the shooting locations of the world's most famous horror films. One, an indie flick that has a strong air of realism about it really grabs their attention, so they head off to its supposed shooting location, a small village in Europe. There, they struggle to find information as the townspeople seem to not want to talk about the movie, which turns out to be because it's more real than the Terror Trips team realise.
I think we need to analyze this situation. We're in the middle of nowhere, near a shitty little town full of pissed off locals. One of our party is missing. How is this not a horror movie?
Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's a solid concept. One that promises a blending of fantasy and realism. But unfortunately, Terror Trips face plants so hard by being incredibly dull. It's a real shame as there is no doubt a love of horror in general drives this movie. The early portion, the conversations between the characters about horror and so on, it's all pretty natural. Yet it all unravels when they arrive in Europe, start to look around and ask questions. This part of the movie goes on for ages. A huge portion of the movie taken up by nothing really happening. It doesn't just drag, it grinds to a halt and makes for a difficult watch. Then, when the horror does start to pick up, it just doesn't lead to anything exciting, interesting, or frightening. Not only is it too little too late, it's just not enjoyable watching. None of this, of course, is helped by a cast of characters that have nothing about them. Nothing at all beyond liking horror and a group of actors that's simply turning middling performances. It also isn't helped that its low budget doesn't really allow anything exciting to be seen. Every death is off camera. An effective tool, it can be when used occasionally, but not the entire film. By the time Terror Trips wraps up, all anyone will feel is that the entire film is one big missed opportunity. The potential was there, but the poor script ruins that. It is overall a tepid, uneventful and forgettable horror movie with barely any horror. That's Terror Trips. You got any thoughts on it? You know what to do? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?